Hello everyone, welcome to English for Palestine. Today we're going to start with Unit 11, Text 1, Reading Comprehension, pages 112 to 113. But first, as usual, we are going to have a look at the learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to 1. Answer comprehension questions about the reading text. 2. Identify the main ideas of the paragraphs of the text. And number 3, identify some pronoun references in the reading text. So let's start with the first part. Paragraph 1. Of course, as we got used, we are going to read the text and then we are having some questions and you will answer these questions, then we'll come back to check them. So this is the paragraph that you are going to start reading. This is the first paragraph. Now let's have a look at the questions in order to find the answers. Now, as you can see, at the beginning, we're having 2 questions. Answer the following questions. Number 1, where were the writer and her family used to living? And number 2, where did the writer move to live? So, my dear students, you are going to have 2 minutes to read this paragraph, and then we'll come back to the questions and your answers to be checked. Okay? So, let's start now. Okay, good job, everyone. Let's move and check your answers. So the first question was, where were the writer and her family used to living? Yes, it was they were used to living in an area, New York, where everyone knew everyone else's business. Very good. Now the second question, where did the writer move to live? Of course, to America. Now, question number 3. I told you before that we have some other questions to be answered. Say whether the following sentences are true or false. Number 1. A. According to the writer, everything in New York was different. Is it true or false? Yes, it was true. Number B. People in New York have a common culture. False. Of course, they have different types of cultures. 4. What do the underlined words and pronouns refer to? Here. Yes, to New York City. B. They. People who live in New York. Excellent job, everyone. Let's move to the second part. Also, we have this paragraph. It's a little bit longer, so I'll give you more time to read it. But first, let's have a look at the questions. Now, we have, of course, different types of questions. But the first part, A, answer the following questions. 1, how did the writer see the new life in New York? And number 2, why didn't the writer's parents join their children to the USA at first? Yes, now I'll give you time to read the paragraph. It will take like 3 minutes. You'll start reading it and then we'll check your answers. Okay, so here we go. Let's check your answers. And of course, I need you to look at these colored or highlighted words, okay? Because we're going to need them for the next part. Now, how did the writer see the new life in New York? Yes, she saw her new life mostly as an adventure. Excellent. 2, why didn't the writer's parents join their children to the USA at first? Of course, because her parents had important work to do back in Jordan, if you remember. Very good. Now, let's go to the next part. I told you to pay attention to the highlighted words, and here they are. What do the highlighted pronouns refer to? Mine, the writer's family. Excellent. 2, he, the writer's uncle. And 3, they, parents, the writer's parents. And finally, I, of course, to the writer. Very good, everyone. Now, to the next part. Also, we have questions on the paragraph that you have read. Decide whether the following sentences are true or false. Number 1, the writer and her family left Palestine directly to America after Nakba. Directly to America after Nakba. What do you think? False. Very good, because they first traveled to Jordan, then to America. Number 2, the writer's aunt never got used to life in America. Is this true or false? Yes, it is true. Very good, everyone. Number D, complete the following sentences. Okay, number 1, thousands of Palestinian families were forced to leave Palestine because of. Of course, we know why. Yes, 1948 catastrophe Nakba. Number 2, her uncle managed fairly well in America because. Yes, he had his job at the newspaper and was quite fluent in English. Now, paragraph 3 also is a longer paragraph, or one of the longest paragraphs here. So I needed to read this paragraph carefully. As you can see, also we have highlighted words. Okay, we're going to ask about them. And let's have a look at the questions. The first question, answer the following questions. Number 1, what are 2 things that the writer's aunt refused to do? 2, say whether the following sentences are true or false. Number 1, the writer's aunt refused to learn English. 2, the apartment was very hot in winter and freezing in summer. So, I'll give you 3 minutes to read this paragraph, to check your answers for the first part, and of course to concentrate on the 5 highlighted words. Well, let's see your answers and let's check them. The first one. What are the 2 things that the writer's aunt refused to do? A, to learn any English. B, to make any changes to the tiny apartment they rented. Very good. Number 2, but true or false? Number 1, the writer's aunt refused to learn English. Yes, true. She refused to learn English. 2, the apartment was very hot in winter and freezing in summer. Of course, false. All right. Now let's move to the next part. 3, what do the underlined words and pronouns refer to, and that I told you before to focus on? A, for which refers to. Yes, to buy food like we have at home. Number B, 1, a fridge. C, she, writer's aunt. D, it, the tiny apartment. The tiny apartment. Yes, and now to paragraph 4. Now this paragraph is a smaller than the first one, so we're not going to have a lot of time to read it. I'll give you 2 minutes to read this paragraph, and of course, as you can see, I have 2 words, it and all this, to focus on for later questions. And let's have a look at the questions. What do the underlined words and pronouns refer to? It, all this. Number 5, find words from the text that mean the same as the following. Get used to, a strong belief. So, I'll give you 2 minutes, read this paragraph, and then we'll come back to the questions. Okay, so let's check your answers. It refers to what? Of course, her stubborn attitude. Her stubborn attitude. All this becoming accustomed to live in America. Very good, everyone. Now, what are the words that have the same meaning as these 2? Get used to. Of course, be accustomed to. And number B, a strong belief. Conviction. Very good. Now, of course, this is our final part, as you can see, which is the task. Now, we have a few questions for you. The first one, read the text, then choose the best title, circle A, B, or C. The second part, answer the questions, and of course, you have like 3 questions over here. And then we have number 4, how did these people react to the new situation? 3 people. Now, I just want you to answer this one. And number 5, Why did her aunt refuse to learn English? Number 6, what did the writer think about the aunt's attitude at the time? And finally, number 7, how have the writer's feelings now changed? Okay, now that will be for today. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you next time. Goodbye.